James Joyce stands as one of the most significant figures in modernist literature. His unique style and innovative techniques revolutionized how we perceive narrative. Moreover, his works often explore complex themes of consciousness, identity, faith, cynicism, and the human condition. James Augustine Aloysius Joyce was born in 1882 in Dublin, Ireland. He grew up in a middle-class family. His father worked as a revenue officer, while his capable mother was an early artistic influence. Sadly, Joyce faced many hardships in his youth. The family experienced financial difficulties which limited his options in life. As a child, intensely observant, young James developed a strong sense of his Irish identity, with which he would later grapple again and again in his fiction. Joyce's education began at Clongowes Wood College, a Jesuit school, where he found part of himself drawn to the possibility of a spiritual life. But later, while attending University College Dublin to study modern languages, he increasingly began to distance himself from the Catholicism he'd been raised in. Instead, during those academic years, Joyce found a new passion in literature and the arts. He was deeply inspired by the epic poets, particularly Homer and Dante. Yet alongside them, the modern plays of Henrik Ibsen so fascinated him that by 18, Joyce had taught himself Norwegian so he could read them in the original tongue. And even in his youth, he began to exhibit the prodigious writing talent that would energize his later daring works, and in time see him branded a literary genius. In 1904, disillusioned with the conservatism and religiosity of his home city's culture, Joyce left Dublin, seeking broader horizons and a liberal intellectual community. He moved to Paris, where he immersed himself in the literary and artistic environment. In this city, he encountered influential figures like Ezra Pound and Gertrude Stein. These interactions significantly impacted his writing style. Ironically, Joyce would set his work not in Paris, but in the very home city he had escaped from. In 1914, his first love-hate relationship homage to it was published in the form of Dubliners, a short story collection showcasing his amazing descriptive powers. Each tale, moving through different phases of life from childhood to adulthood, featured the struggles, failures, and profound epiphanies of ordinary people. While Dubliners employed a realistic style, there were early hints of the unique approach that would later come to define Joyce's experimental narrative novels. A portrait of the artist as a young man was published in 1916 and introduced James Joyce's literary alter ego to the world. For the semi-autobiographical novel captured the development of Stephen Dedalus, Joyce's former pen name, and a character based on the author himself. Through this work, Joyce explored the themes of individuality and artistic identity, and his shadow self was both the protagonist and anti-hero of the story. Readers enjoyed Stephen's deep battles with his beliefs and the expectations of his society. But this complex, confessional character Joyce had created would return. Along with new characters, Stephen Dedalus again played a major role in Ulysses, yet another tale set in Dublin and published in 1922. The narrative approach Joyce took in Ulysses was simply groundbreaking, and the novel, though undeniably challenging, remains his most famous work. Ulysses followed a single day in the life of Leopold Bloom, using stream-of-consciousness techniques, blending thoughts, feelings, and experiences seamlessly. To this day, its engrossing portrayal of the complexity of human thought is celebrated in James Joyce's Ulysses Walking Tour, a guided exploration of Dublin. Led by a James Joyce expert, the tour, which attracts people from all over the world, visits locations where key episodes in Ulysses and Dubliners took place. But this remarkable, complicated author wasn't finished testing the boundaries of storytelling and communication, as none had done before. Finnegans Wake, published in 1939, was Joyce's final masterpiece, and somewhat notoriously, it presented even more unique challenges for readers. Written in a dense, layered style, it simply defied conventional narrative, with its dreamlike structure that explored themes of history, mythology, and language. While some found that daunting, many then and since declared it a monumental achievement which unshackled authors from adherence to conventions. Joyce's profound contributions to literature remain his stunning, not one word wasted mastery of vivid description and his innovative narrative techniques. His experimentation with stream of consciousness, character perspective, and language itself confidently anchored storytelling deeper than ever before in the intricacies of the human mind. Hence, Joyce significantly influenced modern literature, with authors like Virginia Woolf, T.S. Eliot, and Samuel Beckett drawing on his techniques and themes. Empowering the modernist movement, his bold experiments with language and form challenged traditional narrative structures, paving the way for new literary practices. And by intertwining English with his native Irish dialect, he forged a new approach to documenting the individual's struggle for cultural identity in modern fiction. Lastly, his writings virtually triggered a whole new subgenre, focused on the themes of belonging and exile, reflecting his own experiences as an expatriate. James Joyce's personal life was as complex as his writing. He married Nora Barnacle in 1931, after having lived with her for 27 years. Their relationship was unconventional, yet deeply intertwined. Joyce often drew inspiration from Nora in order to portray female characters with rich complexity. His daring works often sparked controversy and met fierce criticism, and additionally, he struggled with financial and health issues throughout his life. Following surgery, James Joyce died on the 13th of January 1941, aged 58, in Switzerland, where his family had been given asylum following the Nazi occupation of France. But James Joyce ultimately emerged as a literary titan for many good reasons. He pioneered some of the deepest writing ever published about the human experience, which continues to captivate readers and critics alike with its innovation and profundity. His rich legacy challenges us to always question the boundaries of storytelling and language, and has garnered him legions of admirers from all walks of society. Endless theses, plays, and books of historical, sociological, and psychological analysis of his works, plus hundreds of awards and grants in his name, say it all. And let's not forget the Bloomsday commemoration and celebration of Joyce's life, observed annually in Dublin and by the Irish diaspora on the 16th of June. Why that date? It's when Ulysses took place on a Thursday in 1904, and also, apparently, when Joyce first intimately encountered Nora. The day's named after Ulysses' protagonist Leopold Bloom. His own day? Now in anyone's book, that's immortality. Have you read Dubliners, or the more challenging James Joyce novels? Do you find his work impenetrable or engrossing? Please tell us in the comment section, and don't forget to like, subscribe, and share to support world literature.
Some say to explore exile, consciousness, and even God, Joyce drew inspiration from Inferno, casting Stephen Dedalus as an Irish Dante. Watch episode 13 and decide for yourself.